Rodri has just won the 2024 Ballon d'Or. I think he's a special talent, he's a generational player, I think. And he's the best DM of this generation. He could go down as the greatest DM of all time. I believe that Sergio Busquets is number one in terms of DMs, but if you had to have an argument between the both of them, Rodri would say, I have a Ballon d'Or and you do not, right? So that's okay, that's fine and all. But in my opinion, I think, and I don't want to say that Rodri does not deserve this award, but I think it should have been given to Vinicius Jr. I think he was slightly above Rodri last season. And to make my argument, I will say, if you think about it, Rodri wasn't the best player in the Champions League last season. He definitely was not the best player in England. The PFA Player of the Year award went to his own teammate, Phil Foden, and Rodri himself was not even nominated for the award, right? And he definitely was not the best player for Spain in the Euro Championships, even though he did win Player of the Tournament. I don't think he should have. In my opinion, I don't think he was the best player for Spain. Even in his own team, Lamine Yamal was better. I think Brian Ruiz was better. Those two guys, Lamine Yamal won the player of the match against France in the semi-final. And in the group stages, Brian Ruiz won the man of the match against Croatia. Now, Rodri won the man of the match against Georgia. And I'm not slighting Georgia, but I think Croatia and France are much more competitive teams than Georgia, even though Georgia really did have a great tournament. And the other players in the Spain team that won the Man of the Match awards, Dani Olmo won one, and Nico Williams won two Man of the Match awards in that tournament. So if you really look at it, I don't think Rodri was even the best player in his own team in Spain, right? So not to take anything away from Rodri, I think he's amazing. I think he's the best DM. He's the best midfield. He's definitely the best midfielder in the world right now. But I do believe that it should have been given to someone else, the award. Now, I think one of the problems with the award is it's if you look at other sports, and I do follow a lot of other sports, right? If you look at other sports, the Ballon d'Or is the most controversial award given to players. I think if you compare it to other sports, like if you compare it to the NBA MVP or if you compare it to the NFL MVP, I think that both those awards are much less controversial than the Ballon d'Or, right? If you look at it, and if you look at the history of the Ballon d'Or, there have been so many controversial awarding or awards of this prestigious trophy. If you look at Thierry Henry, what happened to him versus Pavel Nedved, and even if you look at the history of that very, very closely, right? If you say Pavel Nedved deserved that award in 2003, fine, but in 2004 they gave it to Shevchenko, and Henry didn't win it as well. So you could say he was robbed twice. Definitely in 2004, being given to Shevchenko was not right. If you look at in 2010, the award given to Messi, and a lot of people, including myself, I feel like Schneider had a really, really good tournament, just an entire season, right? But I think if you wanted to give it to Messi, that was okay as well. In 2013, the award was given to Cristiano Ronaldo instead of Frank Ribery. In 2020, I think it was 2019. 2019, the award went to Messi, and a lot of people felt like Virgil van Dijk should have won it. Recently, in 2022, a lot of people say the award should have been given to Erling Haaland, and Messi took it. So, compared to other sports, as I said earlier, compared to the NFL, and compared to the NBA MVP, those awards are much more fair. There's less controversy. The winners are always the winners are always unquestioned, really, much less than the Ballon d'Or, right? And I think there could be a few reasons for that. I think one of the main reasons for the Ballon d'Or being so controversial is that it's always given to the player that's probably won the most awards in terms of team success, right? Now, Rodri won the Premier League, he reached the FA Cup final, and he won the Euro Championship. While Vinicius Junior did win two major trophies, La Liga, and he won the Champions League, but he didn't really have a good Copa America tournament, if you remember. Now, that's okay, but I think it shouldn't be the only thing that you measure success by. Like, team success is fine, but there's so many things. American sports and the awarding and the voting is a rich tapestry of different varieties and different things that fall into voting for the best player. If you so I follow, as I said, I follow a lot of American sports as well. If you look at what the criteria they put into it is, they look at things like the eye test. How does the player look? You know, they look at team performance, of course, and team success. Statistics are huge. They matter a lot. You look at the history and the background of the player and the background of that particular MVP, or is there a backstory to that player winning the award, right? Like, maybe the player is young and upcoming, but took a huge leap in being the best player in his team that won something or made it to the playoffs in a long time. You look at the team around the player. Does the player have a great supporting cast? Or, like Modric in 2018, took a team with not so much talent and took them to the final of the World Cup in 2018. So there's so many things that fall into voting for an MVP. And I think the Ballon d'Or could do itself a huge favor and a huge boost by looking at some of those things, looking more into some of those categories and some of those criterias that you could look into voting for the Ballon d'Or. I don't think it's a particularly problem. I don't think it's a problem particularly for the journalists. I think the journalists could make the right decision, but maybe there could be a category or a list of things that they should be looking for. Now, I think also maybe there should be a little more transparency into why did you vote for this player, blah, 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 right? Like, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a voter. I've never voted for these kind of awards. But I do believe that, you should have more of an open eye towards voting, towards awarding the Ballon d'Or, and maybe the controversy, dampens, decreases, because right now, I mean, it should be a really great day for Rodri, for his team, for his family, but I think the conversation is more around, does he deserve it? What about Vinicius Junior? As I've seen on social media, a lot of his teammates have come out and said he is the best player, not Rodri, and all that, Whereas, like, when Messi won the award, Erling Haaland himself said, Messi's the best. But this time it's not the case. A lot of people have come out and criticized the award, criticized the awarding or the voting for Rodri. So I think that's my two piece about it. I don't think Rodri was the best player last season, but I can't really say that he should not have deserved the award. I think it was really close, but for me, not close enough to give it to Rodri. It was not close enough for Rodri to take that award. If you look at like the award that Messi won last year, the Ballon d'Or, I think that was really close because, like, if you look at the World Cup, Messi was the driving force for Argentina winning the award, for winning the World Cup. He was the player of the tournament, and deservedly so, because he won multiple Man of the Match awards. He scored the second highest goals of a player, and he had the most assists while winning the award, being the captain. And Rodri was fantastic. He was good, but as I said, there were better players for Spain, and they should have, like some of the other teammates of his in Spain, they drove Spain forward. If you look at Manchester City, his own teammate Phil Foden won the award, while he was not even nominated for PFA Player of the Year. So that's my 2 cents about it. Let me know what you think. This is football. And yeah, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, remember to share. This is We Talk Football.